Hi everyone, it's Nicole Spohr and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to create some die cut travel themed cards using brand new products from the Hero Arts My Monthly Hero August 2022 release. As always, my videos contain the add-ons from the release always and not the main kit. So definitely check out the Hero Arts blog for links to more inspiration and especially more inspiration for the main kit. I am going to start with the road signs bold prints included in this kit. Now, these don't have to be for travelers per se. They can be for anything. And as you can see, I'm going to use some of the sentiments from some of the stamp set add-ons in the kit with these travel themed products to make birthday cards. Now, the greetings on the front are going to be things like enjoy the journey and can't wait to see where you'll go, which definitely have that traveler's flair to them. But I also think they work really well for encouragement, birthday like I'm doing here, or really anything, maybe just a hello to a friend or a loved one. So definitely keep that in mind. I am using some of the Mist Hero Hues cardstock with the Mist Hero Hues ink for a tone-on-tone background with the bold print. A bold print, while the name says bold, doesn't have to be bold. I want it to be more of the supporting cast of characters. I want it to reinforce the theme and feel of the design. And so in this case, I really felt like a tone-on-tone would be perfect. I stamped that on a 4 by 5¼ inch panel, which is going to leave me a nice white border when I place this on a white top fold card base or a side fold card base, whatever you prefer. For my second background, I did already die cut the background layer from the Looking Glass Forest and Mountains from a 4 by 5¼ inch panel of smooth white cardstock. This time I am going to use the Hero Hues ink in Granite. I also took my square from die cutting one of the backgrounds. It's just a cardstock square. You could also use Post-it tape or something else to mask off the design I'm going to color in a little bit. And I am stamping the road signs bold print again with Granite ink over my panel. Now you're going to notice this is really dark on white. I could have started with a gray cardstock, but I wanted to show another way to get a tone-on-tone look if you don't have gray cardstock or blue cardstock. You could have done this with the blue ink as well. So a couple of different ways to achieve that tone-on-tone look. And I'm actually going to take the Granite ink here in a little bit. I'm going to let this sit for a while I do some coloring. And I am going to ink blend over the top of this very, very lightly to get that same tone-on-tone effect. Now I'm going to start coloring in the Luggage fancy dies. Was there any question that I would be drawn to the amazing die cuts in this release first? Probably not. If you've been here for a while, you know how I love die cuts. And as always, Hero Arts hits it out of the park. Look at the detail. I'm showing you the dies there on the left side of the screen. Look at the detail in these. It die cuts as one piece, making it fantastic for this particular technique. This is not something new. I've shown this many times before, that you can color in your die cut fancy dies with Copic markers or your other favorite coloring medium to give them that really detailed, beautiful look. I picked colors today that are kind of not my norm, I guess I want to say. This is actually a color combination that I used on a previous Hero Arts My Monthly Hero add-ons video, I think maybe holiday time last year. I will link to it at the end of this video. It was a more of a Christmas scene, but die cut. I didn't intentionally do it that way, but I just felt like doing something a little more rustic. So I would say the colors I chose today are more in the jewel tone colors rather than, I would say, like the rainbows or pastels. Definitely not pastels, but still trying to hit several colors in the rainbow spectrum, or all the colors, I guess, in the rainbow spectrum, with my color choices. So this first suitcase is red. All of my colors are listed down below the video here on YouTube, as well as over on my blog for easy reference. This is like R35, 37, and 39 for my red, and E84 and 87 for the brown trim on the suitcase, and then some warm grays for the buckles and latches. I mean, you guys, look at the detail of these suitcases. I could see doing these in so many ways. I absolutely love this die set. It is incredible. Very, very excited. I think this is going to be really popular. Break it up too. You do not have to use all these things together. So take that globe. Maybe you need a back to school card. Wouldn't that be amazing? Let's zoom in a little closer for the coloring. I felt like, and I'm going to get rid of my stencil mat that was underneath there. I was going to use the stencil mat for something else, and then I decided, you know what? I think it's really in the way and it's kind of ugly to look at. Let's be real. So I went ahead and moved that and zoomed in. This is my blue-green color combination, so definitely not your traditional blue. And I love it. I think it's going to be really pretty. I like it with the browns that I'm using, the earth tones, the E84 and 87, and I think it looks real pretty with the red. Back to the globe. If you've got some back to school, if you have, let's say you have some of the book die cuts from Hero Arts, which we all know are my favorite, from a previous video. I will link to that one at in the description down below as well. If you want to do a back to school card for a teacher, wouldn't it be awesome to do this? Maybe you want to give gift cards to teachers for the beginning of the school year here, or just a, you know, wishing you a great school year, whatever that might be. I think the globe would work really, really well with some of those previously released dies. I know that this is something that I have really been trying to focus on in many of my videos here of recent, and kind of throughout, but definitely here recently, like in my Year of Christmas series. Mix and match with things you already own. So maybe you want to just pick up a couple things from the release. Pick up that and mix and match it back with things that you may have already purchased a year ago, 2 years ago, whenever the case may be. I find a lot of satisfaction in mixing and matching and coming up with new ways to use products that I already have with those new products that are inspiring you. And in the case of dies, it's one of my very favorite things to do is to go back to other sets that I have and find ways to make them work together. So we're just going to keep on coloring. The coloring did take a little bit of work. Anytime you're coloring anything, it's going to be a bit time consuming. And I consider it very much like coloring a stamped image. For me, these particular images, oh, and I'm so sorry, I'm completely out of screen. I've zoomed in too close. For me, this is like coloring a stamped image. I very much approach it that way. It's like no line coloring. And if you do kind of keep that in mind, it does make it a little easier maybe to think about, and a little less intimidating, I think is the word I was looking for. Again, warm grays, I use the same warm gray color combination on all the suitcases, same brown color combination on all the suitcases. The base color of our suitcase is the only different combination I used on each. Now, you do get, I believe, 6 suitcases in this collection. I die cut it all as one panel. You can see I didn't even cut mine apart. I die cut all of mine as one, and I laid them out on my card first, and I really felt like 4 was about the perfect number. I really tried to fit 5 in there, but I just thought it looked a little too much. So I scaled it back. I'm going to do 4 suitcases and the globe with my sentiment. This is my globe. I did pick a little bit brighter blue color combination. I feel like it works a little better for the globe, so it'll stand out for the water. I'm going to color in the water areas first, and then I'm going to pick a blue-green color combination for the land masses. And I purposely picked something that wasn't bright green so that it would kind of have, it doesn't have a brown undertone to it at all, but I really do like that it's not bright. I think it goes a little bit better with the rest of the design of the card. For the spinning and stand of our globe, I am going to go back to E84 and 87. And that's my brown color I'm using on the suitcases as well. I think it has a little bit of a green undertone to it that I really, really like. For my purple lovers, I am going to choose a purpley color combination. Now this is a very muted purple, but I love this color combination. It is a blue-violet combo, BV 20, 23, and 25. Has kind of a grayish undertone to it that I think, and it's muted, so it really goes nicely with the other jewel tones here. Again, we're going to color it all in and then move on to the earth tones for the trim and the warm grays for the handle and buckles. These just remind me very much of the vintage suitcases. I love it. I think so much fun. Now, if you are more of a neutral type of crafter, wouldn't it be amazing to do these in all different shades of browns and maybe grays? For that really vintagey look, do a background on craft cardstock. I could see some really cool cards with that as well. Maybe you do art journaling. I think these would be amazing for that. I think they would be a fantastic embellishment for scrapbookers. There's so many things you can do with these fancy dies. So here's kind of my card thought where I decided let's just go with the 4 suitcases. And then do you see those 2 little luggage tags? They are individual dies, the cutest thing ever. I absolutely love them, and we are going to color those in as well with our E84 and 87 and even a little E81 to attach to a couple of the handles. My final suitcase is my yellow-red color combo YR30, 23, and 24. It is a tiny bit brighter, but I still would call this more the jewel tone, earth tone type of, not earth tone, jewel tone, muted color combo. I love it. It's a great color for pumpkins too, if you're starting to think about fall crafting. And then we'll just color in our little buckles and latches. I did do a much darker gray anywhere that there would be like little rivets holding the hardware on and things like that. So it stayed a little darker. Okay, the tags, they are pretty teeny tiny. They are kind of a pill to color. I think I wish I would have attached them to like a post-it note or post-it tape or something to color, but it ended up okay. Just so teeny tiny. Now, if you need to clean up your work mat, because obviously I'm getting Copic marker all over my self-healing Altenew mat, I just take those little alcohol wipes, the little square wipes, and I just wipe it all over my mat to remove any of the alcohol ink from my mat. While we're coloring, it's time to color in the Looking Glass Forest and Mountains dies. Lots of the same colors here, but a different look completely. So E84 and 87 for the tree trunk, BG 90, or no, I think I used 93 and 96 for the trees. We're gonna pull in 90 for the ground. I want like the foreground of this to be green. Now to die cut the looking glass components from the 4 by 5¼ inch background that we stamped with the road signs bold print, I die cut it right from that background panel, the back of my scene. From the other components, I die cut the other 2 layers from white cardstock, and I used a Hero Arts infinity square die to die cut it into a frame. Now, it doesn't really matter how big it is. Now, if I wanted to keep the frame square just like this, that would be fine. I could leave it as is, but I kind of wanted to frame it up with an ornate frame. And Hero Arts has some awesome ornate frames in their collection, and so that is what I opted to do. for the final finishing touch for the front of this card. And I die cut the previously released Looking Glass fine art frame, also from white cardstock. Now, when you die cut the back for this particular frame, I kept all those little pieces, and it makes it really easy to color because you can kind of pop them out and add your color to them. But definitely want to hold on to them because we're going to inlay them all back into the design. So I'm going to do kind of like some browns for the mountain with E84, 81, and 87. I did the little stream running through there with the brighter blue color combination that I used for the water on the globe from the first card with B32 and 34, but all the same color combinations. And I will list out exactly what I used in the description here on YouTube, so it's easy to know. For the sky, I'm going to go with that blue-green color combo. Kind of gives us a moody type of sky. Just like that. And it's looking really cute. I've picked out my greeting to go underneath. I'm using greetings from the Winding Road HEROSCAPE and Seaside Highway HEROSCAPE for both cards. And I kind of just matched from one set to one card and from the other set to the other because they have different fonts. Now for my frame, you could totally die cut this from a color cardstock and pop it on the front. Maybe you have a metallic silver or gold. Probably silver maybe would look better with that granite colored background for this card. You could do that. But I opted to color mine in with Copics. I feel like it kind of matches the theme since I've colored everything else in with Copics. And I'm going to use my warm gray markers. These are the warm gray markers I used for the hardware on the suitcases, and I'm not going to change a single thing. And I did notice that I totally forgot like the snow on my mountains as well as the other little ground piece. So let me color that in really fast. But for the frame, I'm going to start with my lighter colors, but it kind of has that look of a matted ornate frame, like a gallery wall frame or something. I'm going to leave that. I thought I might leave it white, and then I was like, no, I don't think I like the white. I'm going to go back with my darkest gray color and just color that little skinny inside frame with my darkest. And I actually really loved how this turned out. So I went in with my lighter gray, my warm gray 4. Then I'm going to use warm gray 7 to trace kind of the die cut areas of this fancy die. And then we're going to use our mid-tone to smooth out the dark colors. And you can see I am not coloring super nice. It's kind of more of a messy color, but I think it works really, really well. And then we're going to go over the whole thing with our lightest color, which is going to smooth it out. You can even see it working as I'm coloring. It's just kind of smoothing and blending it all together beautifully. And I was like, no, white is too much. So let's go in with our dark warm gray and let's go around the edge of our frame and just darken it. And I love it. It gives it that matted look that's so, so pretty. So I'm going to assemble this really quickly. Oh, no, first, I forgot. I'm going to go ahead and give us our tone-on-tone look with the road signs bold print. Remember at the beginning of the video where I said we're doing some kind of tone-on-tone looks, and you can either do a tone-on-tone with cardstock, or you can stamp it on white and take that same color and very lightly blend over the top of it. That's what we're doing here. This is the Granite Hero Hues ink blended over the top of our road signs bold print to give it more of a gray look. It also mutes it so it's not so harsh. When we stamp our sentiment over the top, then it's going to be a lot more legible than I think it would be if we had left it as is. I'm going to stamp Enjoy the Journey from our Winding Road HEROSCAPE, I think, yes, is the one this is from. And I stamped that with Pitch Black Hero Arts ink. For my Looking Glass background, we're going to stamp our greeting from the Seaside Highway HEROSCAPE. And I can't wait to see where you'll go. I used my frame as a guide so I didn't stamp it too close to the Looking Glass die cut. Then I've got 2 white top fold card bases. I am going to attach my Luggage background first And I like the white border around. I feel like it kind of frames up the scene. We're going to attach our suitcases with foam adhesive. I attached the first one too high, so I'm going to very carefully peel that up and move it down to the bottom of the panel. I couldn't exactly remember where it was supposed to go. And then I'm going to put foam adhesive on my card and pop my suitcases in place. We're going to have a cute little stack of suitcases right on this road signs bold print. Foam adhesive, all of the things is my motto. And then we're going to stick our globe up here on top. And I love it. It is so cute. Don't forget the luggage tags. So I'm using some tweezers to help hold them while I put glue on the back and then pop them in place. I find that that works the best. You could even tuck them underneath if you want to pull up the handle a little bit. I actually opted not to. I thought I was going to, and then I was like, nah, I think I like them better kind of laying on top. So I'm going to just glue those down to a couple. You could do them for all if you wanted to, but I just decided to do, excuse me, the two different ones. And then I'm going to take a little trio of these coffee bean Trinity Stamps hearts, of course, and add those to my card to finish off the design. Now inside the card, I'm also going to stamp a sentiment. And there is a happy birthday sentiment in both the Winding Road HEROSCAPE and the Seaside Highway HEROSCAPE. And I feel like they work really well with a lot of the other greetings. So I'm going to stamp happy birthday inside my card to finish it off. I love it. And one of my hearts fell off, so I'm going to fix that. Let's go ahead and finish our looking glass design. I'm going to put adhesive all the way around my HEROSCAPE, and then I'm going to use liquid glue to inlay my background scene here. I'm going to put a little liquid glue on the back of these little pieces. And just kind of drawing the glue in, adding in our different layers, and I'm kind of trying to work before that glue dries just in case anything shifted. There we go. And then we're just going to simply glue the layers in place. So I did the mountains as the back, then the 2 trees layer, and finally the 1 tree layer. Now you might see me playing with that little deer, moose, I don't know what that is, image from our Winding Road HEROSCAPE. I think we're going to add a little critter to this scene to finish it off nicely. I did glue the frame in place on top. I got a little scrap of cardstock left over from die cutting those looking glass pieces. I am going to stamp my deer with the Espresso Hero Hues ink, die cut it with a coordinating die, and glue him in place inside of the frame. I love it. I feel like it just finishes it off perfectly. I'm going to snip that apart from the other die that goes with that set. And we are going to die cut our little critter. Sized perfectly for the looking glass as well. Definitely check out your other Hero Art sets from the HEROSCAPEs because a lot of them are going to work really nice with looking glass scenes. Inside this card, we will also stamp a happy birthday. We're going to use the same stamp set for this so it matches perfectly. Oh, I love it. It's so cute. And I am going to put one little heart on this card right below the sentiment. And we're going to stamp the happy birthday from the same stamp set from the greeting on the front, which is the Seaside Highway. The fonts match perfectly. And I'm glad I used the Misty because I need to stamp this more than once. I didn't get it stamped very good the first time. I did use the pitch black ink again. And here's a look at both finished cards. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these travel themed cards featuring die cuts using the Hero Arts My Monthly Hero August 2022 add-ons release. The supplies I used to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my Patreon members. If you would like to become a member of Patreon, please click the link in the description below. I appreciate you guys so very much. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new card making video. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.